the still, wintry solitude of the Quidi-Vidi fishing village to Signal Hill, which stands tall on the eastern edge of Canada, we are in St. John's, Newfoundland, for this edition of Canadian Curling Weekly. Hello again, everybody, and we've come to Newfoundland this week for the Provincial Men's Curling Championship, the Labatt Tankard, which took place this past weekend across the island at Stephenville. Also coming up a little later, Ed Wernick will finally make the draw to see which rink will wrestle the wrench next month in Toronto. This past weekend has been one of the busiest in playdowns right across the country. Scott Tournament of Hearts champions, Labatt Tankard champions determined in several provinces. Let's get you now caught up to date. And in Stephenville at the Caribou Curling Club, under the watchful eye of the club mascot, former Briar representative Glenn Goss beats clubmate Craig Pierce 6-3, and the Silver Fox foursome heads to Regina. In Kentville, Nova Scotia, time to tidy up, find out who will be the host team at this year's Scott Tournament of Hearts. Margie Cutcliffe, CFB Halifax, against Colleen Jones from the Halifax Curling Club. Jones trails by one, final end, makes a hit and stick for two, and a chance at her second national championship. Now on to Campbellton, New Brunswick, and the Labatt Men's Tankard Championship, and the defending provincial champion Gary Mitchell against Mike Kennedy from Edmonton. Mitchell lies one, Kennedy with last rock makes the delicate takeout and wins the championship and his first provincial title. On to Robertville, Quebec, the Provincial Scott Tournament of Hearts. Familiar faces in the final, Agnes Charette of Buckingham against Katie Brown of Glenmore. And the key end, the fifth. The score tied 4-4. Charette makes this takeout, scores 4, on the way to a 12-7 win, and it's another trip to the Scott Tournament of Hearts for the team from Buckingham. Now on to the Ontario Scott Tournament of Hearts. The McIntyre Curling Club in Timmins. Kim Clark of Thunder Bay could only watch and worry. As a former Canadian and world champion, Marilyn Bodo, undefeated through round robin with 9 straight wins, last rock. Clark lying two, score tied. Bodo looking to force an extra end, but she's wide. She misses the double takeout. And Clark is the Ontario champion. On to Winnipeg, the St. Vital Curling Club, and it's all tied up. 11th end for a couple of familiar faces, Karen Purdy and Connie Laliberty, in front of a packed house. Laliberty with last rock, and the former world champion makes the hit and stick and now advances and looks for her second world championship, her last, 1984. At the Yorkton Parkland Agriplex, everybody in Saskatchewan knows these faces. Michelle Schneider, Sandra Peterson in the Scott Tournament of Hearts final. 5th end, score tied 2-2. Schneider lying 3, Peterson last rock. Her draw, though, needs full 4 foot. It'll just keep on sliding. Schneider steals 2, going on to win her 4th provincial crown in the last 5 years, as Michelle Schneider wins the latest battle in her rivalry with Sandra Peterson. In Leduc, Alberta, time to crown the first of the Western Briar reps. Michael Vavrick of Grand Prairie lying 2, score tied 10th end against the defending Briar champion Kevin Martin of Edmonton. Martin with his final stone needs full 8 foot. The defending Canadian champion will catch a piece of the button, and Martin returns to defend his title in Regina, but first he'll go to the Olympics in Albertville. In Nanaimo, the BC Scott final came down to Penny Ryan of Kelowna against Lisa Walker from Vancouver, tied 1-1, playing the 10th. Ryan lying 1, 4 foot, but wide open. Walker makes the hit. Will her shooter hold on? You bet. And Lisa Walker wins 2-1 and now heads to the East Coast. And up in Whitehorse, Maureen Miller of the Territories against Dawn Moses of the host club. Moses runs Miller out of rocks and wins a berth in the Scott. And now you are caught up to date.
Ever hit the hack? Hit your leg through the swing? Happens often, especially to the beginner. We'll be back shortly. We'll solve that for you.
Canadian Curling Weekly is brought to you by the men and women at Scott Paper.
The pasta.
They loved it.
The sauces.
They're great.
The cooking.
So easy.
Introducing McCain Pasta Magic. Simply microwave the sauce, run the frozen pasta under hot water for a few seconds, and magically, tender, just right pasta. Combine them for perfect pasta and perfect sauce.
Fettuccine.
Alfredo.
Pasta salad. My next topping.
New McCain Pasta Magic. Delicious, perfectly prepared pasta and sauce in less than 3 minutes.
It's magic.
It's McCain.
The year was 1986, and the battle of the sexes between Marilyn Dart and Ed Wernick at the World Championships in Toronto. Jen Augustine, Christine Jurgensen, Kathy McEdwards, and their skip, Marilyn Bodo Dart, against the firefighter, Ed Wernick. It wasn't Dart's day, however. Second end, Wernick leading 2-0, line 2, and Dart wrecks on the center guard. Wernick steals 2 more. Wernick didn't miss too many. He finishes the women off in the 10th with this shot. The men beat the women 10-2 6 years ago. When St. John's wants to party, the party place, it seems, is George Street. This 3-block area in the heart of downtown is lined with restaurants, bars, and in the summer, outdoor cafes, all ready to show you a good time. Most of us have done it at some time or another when we're curling, and that's when we draw the rock back, clipping our leg. That's what Ray wants to correct, hopefully, on this week's Turnbull Tip.
That swing's a very intricate little motion. But I think we can make it simple for you. You know what happens to many curlers? They'll take some motion forward, and then they'll start back in their swing. But what they do now is pull the arm first. And it comes inside often and then outside, or it may even hit the hack. You can solve that problem. Watch. You don't start the swing by pulling the arm. The swing is a transfer of weight. We pull the body first. You really get a better look at this from the side. And what I want you to watch for is how the body starts first. I don't pull the arm first. There's a forward press. There's a trunk lift. Now watch the hips. You pull the body, swing the stone. You know, as long as you line up properly on that target, take that press, elevate those hips, and then start the swing by pulling the body, not the arm. You'll find that swing is so simple. Try it next time you're at the rink. See you next week.
One of the most charming features of St. John's is its streetscapes. The houses, predominantly wooden, many of them dating back to the 1800s, and all of them very brightly painted. You know, next to Foster Hewitt's description of Paul Henderson's goal in Moscow in 1972, the description of the Soviets going home during a game against Philadelphia probably stands out second in many hockey fans' minds. This is home, St. John's, for the man who called that game, Bob Cole. He curled only 16 years, starting in 1960. But in that time, Bob Cole won Newfoundland titles in both 71 and 75.
71, we had a fair run at it. In 75, it was disaster time, winning just one in 10 games. That doesn't sound great, but that level of competition, you learn to swallow that, and you can still enjoy it. Disappointing, but you can enjoy it.
There is a definite passion when Cole talks about the game, and especially his 2 Purple Hearts.
If you ask a hockey player what a Stanley Cup means, I know you have to win the Brier to feel the ultimate, but when you're curling at a competitive level of curling, to get out of your club, to get past the zones, to make it to a provincial, and then to win it, hence the Purple Heart, you had to make 1 or 2 shots.
Cole also won 2 Newfoundland mixed championships with a rink that included his wife Karen at 3rd, and 2nd, Jack McDuff, who went on to win the Brier for Newfoundland in 1976. And many people say Cole was as tough as they come. Tough to play for, even tougher to play against.
Well, I guess you had one thing in mind, and you wanted to win. Fairly, squarely, but win. And I guess anybody plays any competition, any game like that. You can learn to maybe dislike them a little, and that's too bad, but it happens. And I guess I was kind of serious, yeah.
However, that toughness, that combativeness, suddenly left Cole. This former president of the St. John's Curling Club simply walked away from the game some 15 years ago.
I left it one day. I was no longer curling competitively, and I thought I'd still feel a good thing about curling, but for some reason you lose that little, I must make this shot now, or I'll feel badly forever type feeling. You lose the killer instinct.
But the Leafs break it up and clear it off the boards and out to center ice. Allen moving up. The Leafs looking for their 4th win in a row.
Hockey season now is, and again, I'm lucky and fortunate to be involved, as I am, with the National Hockey League. And Hockey Night in Canada, it's weekends. And that's playoff time, too, in curling. So, goodbye, curling, and let's go, Leafs.
They're going home. They're going home. Yeah, they're going home. The Philadelphia Flyers move around a little bit, and they're going home.
Still lots of events happening locally. Tell us about them. Write us at Canadian Curling Weekly, care of TSN 1155 Leslie Street, Don Mills, Ontario, M3C 2J6.
NTN's interactive games put you in the middle of televised sporting events, and you call the shots live. Football strategy in QB1. Predict goals scored with power play hockey. Step to the plate with Diamond Ball. And challenge your knowledge with NTN Trivia. Compete against your friends and opponents across the NTN network. Now you can play in the majors for real. Now playing in licensed locations across Canada. Power play hockey. For information, call 1-800-661-PLAY.
This is my man Juice. Juice is about the most serious guard out here, dishing the ball up. Everybody want to check some out. Check out his black top. These shoes only 2 days old, but Juice plays so much, he plays like 800-900 times a day, man. These shoes are dirty. If this had been a regular shoe, he'd have fell out of them. He couldn't come back and play no more because it's a black top shoe built for the outdoor game. Juice can live and play another day. My man Juice play outdoors. He can't play indoors because he don't live nowhere. This is Juice. My man, he got a house. I'm just playing. He's got a house. Playing ball and talking about black tops. What is the score? I got next game.
The pasta.
They loved it.
The sauces.
They're great.
The cooking.
So easy.
Introducing McCain Pasta Magic. Simply microwave the sauce, run the frozen pasta under hot water for a few seconds, and magically, tender, just right pasta. Combine them for perfect pasta and perfect sauce.
Fettuccine.
Alfredo.
Pasta salad. My next topping.
New McCain Pasta Magic. Delicious, perfectly prepared pasta and sauce in less than 3 minutes.
It's magic.
It's McCain.
The Basilica of St. John the Baptist is a National Historic Site here in St. John's. Built in 1850, it features an ornamental ceiling finished in gold leaf detail. How many times in your curling game have you felt comfortably in front, only to see the other team come from behind and win the game? It's true that no lead is safe, and that's what Linda wants to talk about this week on the Strategy Zone. It's Canada against Norway at the World Championships. Norway leading 4-2, sixth end. Canadian third, Jody Sutton, makes a brilliant draw to the forefoot. The Norwegians will open things up, getting rid of the guard. However, the Canadians put one right back. Now it's Norwegian skip Doherty Nordby trying to peel, but instead raises the Canadian stone into the edge of the 12. Canadian skip Julie Sutton takes advantage, draws one more. Canada now lying 3. Norwegians do have last rock.
Well, it seems, Ray, that no matter what game you play, there's always one end where you get into a bit of trouble, and this one seems to be it.
How did we get into this mess, Linda?
Boy, there's rocks everywhere, and unfortunately the three in the house are our opposition stones. We start to have to think about cutting them down. I think, Ray, I don't see a way to get into this house.
Well, we got the 2-point lead. I think you're right, Linda. The key here is let's try and cut them down, concede them one, and we can, I guess there's a draw there, but I think maybe if we can hit this and just try and roll for second shot, I'm nervous about trying to play the double to get shot rock. I think the key here is just to hit this and roll in for, give them a single. I don't know what you think. But...
Well, I guess there is a way to get 1 point, and that would be to try the double. Another one is you could come all the way up to here and try to get somehow this rock into this position. But I really think those two shots are tough. The angle on this rock isn't very good, and look at how far I'd have to roll, and I'd have to bump this all the way over to here to get the point.
Yeah, I think it's when we just decide that let's give them a single and get out of this. We'll still be up a single, hit this and try and roll for second shot. I think that's the only shot you got, Linda.
Yeah. So close to the boards, it's not an easy one, but it seems to be the best, so we'll try and broom it for a fairly good takeout weight, throw it, and hope to get the roll. Doherty Nordby really only had one shot, and that was to concede the 1 point.
However, Nordby decides to go for the double takeout and not concede any points. But she only gets one, and Canada would steal 2. To be quite honest with you, St. John's Harbor in the winter is a very cold and lonely looking place. The only ships you might see is the occasional ferry heading towards Nova Scotia, or maybe a Canadian Coast Guard boat coming back from patrol. But in the summer, of course, this is where it all happens. Ships from around the world will anchor here, as well as the fishermen who return with their daily catch. It is something that all the elite teams do before a major competition. It's called matching rocks, and they do it for a very good reason. It happens to all curlers. They throw 2 rocks. The first one ends up at the back of the 8. The second, they throw exactly with the same weight, same ice, and comes up a few feet shorter. The reason? All rocks are not created equal.
In order to judge whether 2 rocks behave the same or not, we basically throw them down the same path. And we found that by throwing the rock from the center line out towards the side, you get a little better idea. First of all, it's easier to throw the 2 rocks the same. And secondly, you get a bit better idea of the consistency of how the rock curls.
Kawaja is one of the game's best at matching rocks, and it's his responsibility with the Wernick ring. He pairs up the rocks, throwing each of them with the same weight over and over until he's finally found 2 that act the same.
Okay, well, this is the result of the first 6 rocks that I threw, and basically these 4 rocks are obviously pretty close. I thought I threw them all relatively close to being the same, and they're all in the same general vicinity. They all just barely touched each other. This is the first rock that I threw, and so I might have thrown it a bit heavy. It's the first rock that I threw of the day, so I wouldn't pay too much attention to the fact that this went further, but what I am concerned about is the fact that it curled about another foot.
Of course, all 8 rocks will not make 4 perfect matches. That's why the best pair go to the skip, and the worst, yeah, Ray, go to the lead.
So if you know that your 2 rocks are matched and they behave the same, then you take any uncertainty in your mind sort of away that there might be a problem with your rocks, and as a result, you probably play the game and throw your rocks with a little more confidence.
I think that if we provide the support and the guidance for our young players, we will continue to be very, very successful at the national level. And I think we can show a lot of people that curling is a great sport. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I think you have to get involved at the junior level in your clubs and spend some time with the junior curlers. In Brannan, we've done quite a bit of that, and it's picked up a little bit. So I think it's got to start at the junior level to increase curling.
I think that as a prominent curler in your province or in your club, then it's really important to encourage junior curlers to develop into strong ladies curlers and men's curlers, and if you encourage them and give them the competition that they need, then they'll become better and curling will continue to be a strong sport.
We've taken a lot of kids from hockey and that level. It's hard because the kids have so much nowadays, but if we can get them interested in curling early and they realize what they can really do out in that ice, they usually stay.
I think it's just like all the other sports. We have to, the elite curlers have to sell their sport. We have to make it exciting. Money will do that. The caliber of the curling, the shots that are made, and the aggressive curling rules we come up with will certainly sell the game and make it bigger.
For all those people who want a roll of bathroom tissue to last longer, there's new Purex Jumbo. With 50% more billowy soft sheets on every roll, it takes forever to run out.
Whoa. In the world of sports, I've been to just about every big game, and now you can too.
Introducing the Ultimate Sports Club, the only club to package travel, accommodation, and great seats to every major sporting event in North America. Now you can really be there.
Any regular game, any championship, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, you name it.
We're your ticket to any sport.
Join the club and get your own club card and membership kit, seating plans to stadiums, and a calendar of sports special events, plus an exclusive club voucher good for 3 nights accommodations in Las Vegas. Just $24.95 a year. And if you join now, you'll get a second year free, so become a member now.
To join, call 1-800-533-4400, 1-800-533-4400, or send $24.95 plus $3 shipping to Box 3351, Station D, Toronto, Ontario, M2R 3G6.
Canadian Curling Weekly is brought to you by the men and women at Scott Paper. Government House is one of the more unique buildings in St. John's. It's the official residence of the Lieutenant Governor and any visiting royal family members. Built in 1824, it is one of the only buildings in North America that is surrounded by a moat. He is the last living father of Confederation, helping bring Newfoundland and Labrador into Confederation back in 1949. And he also lived here at one time. And I think more importantly, he's still a curler, the Honorable Gordon Winter. It was an historic day for Newfoundland, Canada, and Gordon Winter. That day in 1949, when the 36-year-old put his name to the union with Canada, and Newfoundland, Labrador, became the country's 10th province.
Oh, as far as I'm concerned, it's the best thing that ever happened to Newfoundland and Labrador, yes. Where we would be on our own today, I shudder to think. The opposition back over the years was largely emotional. It wasn't based really on the facts and the economics, which are so important today.
A former provincial finance minister, Winter was named Newfoundland's royal representative in 1974, a position he and all Newfoundlanders hold with pride.
The only governors of Newfoundland back over the years, and I mean, we've had governors in Newfoundland for 250 years, and so it's all very, it's very much in the tradition of Newfoundland. In fact, a lot of Newfoundlanders feared that as a result of Confederation, we'd lose that particular piece of pageantry, which I certainly found as governor that it was appreciated. I don't think it's going to come in. On the way, bring it on the way.
Today, you'll find the 80-year-old Winter on the ice twice a week at the St. John's Curling Club with the other old fellas, as he likes to say. Old fellas such as Jack Norris, who represented Newfoundland at the 1954 Brier in Edmonton. All of them 80-something, or at least pretty close to it.
One of the things that attracts me is that, you know, whilst the younger ones are the sharpshooters and the better curlers, but at the same time, you can still curl at almost any age reasonably well. You won't win the Brier when you get over a certain age, but you can still curl well enough to get some satisfaction out of making shots.
The Honorable Gordon Winter, a part of Canadian history, a curler, and the only living father of Confederation.
I don't like that particular title. Mr. Smallwood was, it was something that belonged to him because he worked, well, he was the central figure throughout it all. I, in no sense, equate with him in my association with it, but I happen to be the last one left now of those who actually signed the terms of union, and so I begin to feel lonely now.
Some things happening this week at the Sutton Curling Club on the shores of Lake Simcoe. They're going to try and set a Guinness record for the longest curling stone. They've pebbled about 800 feet of ice. We'll let you know what happened next week. In BC, they're getting ready for the Mixed Open Championship at the North Shore Winter Club, February 13 through 16. In the Ottawa area, time to sign up for the Centennial Plus Bonspiel. That's slated for CFB Petawawa, March 19 through 22. And in Calgary, the Winterfest there will include Rock Around the Clock at the West Winds Club, February 14 through 16. 64 teams to curl for 2 straight days. And that's this edition of Canadian Curling Weekly from St. John's. But before we leave Newfoundland, one more thing to do, of course, and that is have Ed Wernick make the draw to see who will wrestle the wrench. And where better to find Ed Wernick anywhere in this country than in a fire hall. Oh, look at this. Hey, Ed Wernick, good to see you.
Hi, Vic. How are you?
Fine, thanks. Did we have some response to this contest to wrestle the wrench? Look at this.
Yeah, it's been a terrific response. There's mail there from all over the country.
Yeah, more than 100 from right across the country. So now it's time to make the draw. You look that way. I'll hold up the hat, and then you reach in there and pick the winning team that will come to Toronto and wrestle the wrench. All right, who's that?
There you go.
Okay, it is Michelle and I, Kelly, were Provincial's first runners-up for 3 years in juniors. Michelle Hunt, Kelly Yetman, Terry Strickland, John Green, and they are from Harbor Grace, Newfoundland. Congratulations. So you're going to battle some Newfoundlanders.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. We better start practicing. It sounds like these girls can curl.
All right. Congratulations to the Michelle Hunt rink. And we'll be in touch about bringing you to Toronto to wrestle the wrench. Thanks very much, Eddie. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome.
Now, on behalf of Ed Wernick and our entire crew, I'm Vic Roeder. Thanks for joining us this week on Canadian Curling Weekly, and goodbye from St. John's, Newfoundland.
TSN's going to